So I was given the opportunity to interview Seena Sleem. She is a TV news reporter for Channel 5 News here in Nashville. So I did a Zoom conference with her, and I decided to take some of the most important clips that I thought played a role in communication and thought would be useful for everybody. So here is parts of my interview. So I know you do interviews, but how do you think that communication plays the biggest role regarding to your job every day?
So I'm setting up all of the interviews. So I think having to communicate with so many different people is one of the things that has taught me how to be really good with my communication skills. Also, it takes a village. I'm working with producers who write the whole show, and then I'm working with a photographer to explain to him what my vision is, and he's the one that edits it, and then I have to relay this to the web people who are helping me put it on the web. So there's a lot of moving parts. So you definitely have to be on top of communicating with everyone, and a lot of times you're remote. So what people don't realize is my office is my car a lot of the times.
Wow.
So let's say I'm doing a story in Hopkinsville, I'm not coming back to the studio at all. So I have to be able to communicate the story not only to the audience, but have to communicate the progress with everybody around me. A lot of times when you're doing interviews, you tell people what you're looking for in an interview. Sometimes you don't really get that from them. I think it's hard to control what other people are presenting to you. So it's not like I'm trying to shape the interview, but we'll say, hey, we're looking for this kind of angle, and they're so pumped for it, and you go out to them. Sometimes they don't really give you that same energy back, and that can be really difficult because then the story falls flat.
You're going into especially a really tense, uncomfortable situation, a family member that just lost somebody, or if you're going to a tornado relief stuff, I'm sure that's really tough. So how do you kind of cope with, dealing with that energy with people, dealing with the emotions and kind of being comfortable with it?
I think you just have to get them comfortable without the camera first. I think it's really important to talk to someone and build that human connection. I mean, that's why I love doing what I do. It's not to be on TV, it's to tell these stories. And so you got to look at your subjects as people, who have something to say. And so usually I'll talk to them and lighten the mood before we bring the camera in. And before you know it, they're letting their guard down. And that's really important because you will get a lot of times, you'll get people who aren't. I mean, they're not expecting the camera. They're not doing a job in front of the camera. They didn't train to do it. So, you put a camera in front of them, they end up being a lot of yes or no people. And you can't really build a story on a yes or no. So you've got to really break down their walls. And so I think it's important to talk to them off camera first and kind of build that relationship.